Welcome to Harley Designs.
Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild, episode 97.
97.
97.
We're honing in on 100.
It's amazing that it's lasted this long.
I know.
It doesn't seem like a thing.
I mean, it's a thing.
We've made it. It's a thing.
Exactly.
It's not a thing.
Better get working on next season's thumbnail.
Oh, shoot. That's coming up. I have to do that for episode 105, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we change it 52 or 53? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't either. I agree.
Am I using the right mic? Yes.
Am I using the right mic? I believe so. You sound fine on my end.
You sound fine on my end, too. Matt, your sound sucks. Well, restart your stream.
Blame it on someone else. We were just having this discussion because
maybe,
no matter what...
Maybe I'm just peeking. I could just be peeking out.
Peekaboo?
Peekaboo.
I really enjoy this show.
It's the right mic.
Who's on first?
Sounds loud and all kinds of junky. How about now? No. Sounds like a crappy laptop. Hang on.
Did you
How
turn the mic?
Now?
See what that does for you. Alex has no audio on his mic, but that's okay because he's not on the show.
Overmodulation, they're saying.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't even know what that means either.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, man.
Maybe I'll turn off NVIDIA broadcast. Oh, I know why. Hang on a second. Hang on.
You have the wrong source on OBS?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Of course. So.
How about now?
I'm sure that fixed it, even though there's no difference over here.
That's probably better.
Your episode of
Test 1, Test 2, Sibilance.
Road to Sibilance. Good episode. I liked it. So much to do.
Oh,
so many
man.
Jeeps. Hey, did you know that that's a Comanche, pretty much? It's not a...
Is this how we're starting?
It's called a Comanche. You're such a stickler for like, technically they didn't make this model of Land Rover in that body style. So it's not this one that you're saying. It's a version of my own. So people are basically like, no, that's a Comanche, Matt. It just looks like a JK or JL instead of an...
That's JL, but that's a Comanche. No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
I can just see you on the other side of that, not replying while your fingers are just trying to type the letter. You're just trying to hold them off the keyboard as you're...
That's why I let Rebecca do all the commenting now. She just says nice things like, thanks for the tip. Or, cool, didn't know that.
Which is a true statement, probably.
More true than you know. But you know what? A little bit of product knowledge and she gets right on top of stuff. Because I'm always like, that's not what I meant when I said it's not.
I know. I have such a hard time too. So we
forgot to tell people where to check in from.
Oh yeah, ASL.
Kicking it old school.
That topic came up on Friday night with Nicole. And I said ASL. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, she's like, American Sign Language? Like, no.
Definitely not.
It was, she's like, yeah, we didn't have a computer in the house then. Like,
no, Gringo Bandito goes, that explains the right on I got on the response to my comment today. No, that was me. I remember that one. That was me. Oh man, it's so great. Yeah, there's been it was a significant amount of progress that I wasn't actually fully anticipating, so that was kind of good. when I first started, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about for 5 minutes, let alone what did I go on for?
23. It was a great
23
episode.
minutes. Yeah.
I'm liking the longer episodes on this series, especially since there's only one of us doing it a week. You got to be double long.
Exactly. You gotta get the extra length.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually, it worked out pretty well because there were a lot of things that happened this week, and I'm pretty happy with the progress.
You didn't,
you
you didn't talk about anything for all that long. You just like, there's this, and I did this, and I did this, and we're working on this, and like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and while it's not as business technical, that's what I like to call what you do.
Business technical, yeah.
Business technical.
I wear a tie, but
yeah, it's like,
it's to the.
I went to community college. You went to the technical college, which is probably more true than. Did you go to University of like
Nebraska,
Kansas City, Nebraska? Okay, Nebraska.
Yes, Nebraska.
Go
Huskers.
Yeah, go Huskies.
Corn Huskers. There you go.
Go corn binders. So, what was I saying? I don't remember now. But yeah, I'm not like
so technical in that way. But
yeah. I'm not like
though. You still did a little bit of how-to
talking. A little bit of how-to talking, and a lot of pointing to. You should watch this video if you want to know how to do that thing.
And then another guy did a video on this one, and then go watch somebody else's stuff. He'll tell you how to do it.
I don't care about. I can't do it. Just watch this guy.
I mean, I was even thinking. I was just like, you'd said it so many times. Like, you point to the little button on your wall, and I'm just like, man. I was like, I guess I could. What do I need to? I'm trying to watch my video in my head. I need to point over here, right? Yeah. Like,
click on this thing. Click on the dumpster.
The dumpster. Yeah.
Yeah. Click on the dumpster.
I was just like, man, you've got that perfect button to remind. I just need to dumpster it. Like, it's in the dumpster. Go check the dumpster video and dumpster videos from now on.
You know that's why I put the dumpster in the opener, right?
I love because to put the dumpster in the video. For one, it's one of my favorite things.
And it's what I think of your comp trucks.
And I 100% knew where your mind was when you put it in there. Like.
Yes.
Like,
I was like, send me some pictures of your trucks, and I think you sent me the picture of the dumpster. Yeah, yes. And I was like,
send me some pictures of you comping in your trucks, and I was like, this one, dumpster's going.
Absolutely perfect. But yeah, there's been a lot of progress. It looks like a truck now, and it's funny, like I said, I'm not doing a lot of I'm not building things out of carbon fiber, and I was hoping to, but I won't be able to, just because that package is not coming.
Yeah.
Richard and I decided, let's play it by the letter of the law here and not ship dangerous things across the border.
It's not even that dangerous.
It's not that dangerous. I'll go drive down.
Little symbols on the box. It's like, eh.
Yeah.
But yeah,
these are suggestions.
Just smuggle it across the border in person. That's way better.
I'll drive it across.
Don't just,
Do you have anything to declare? I just bought this carbon fiber making kit. And they'll go, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Come on in.
Hey, I live over there. Can I get
Larry said it's okay. But what's great, though, is that there are like little tiny things that I'm learning and applying and putting into like practice. Like just today, I was like, I've got these, because, I printed the TPU fenders, because I'm going to use TPU for the fenders. So flexible, unbreakable. You can do whatever you want to it, and it springs right back.
Amazing.
So we're going to use those. But to glue them on, this body was kind of not meant for comps,
Who'd have guessed it?
Me. And they glue on, and it's a very small kind of surface for how they should glue. So what I was like, you know what? I'm going to plastic weld these back together, not using chemicals, but using heat and some mesh. So I can actually literally drop a thin piece of mesh, like a screen door or whatever, into that cavity on both sides, and then use a soldering iron to basically melt that mesh right into the joint. So then it becomes bonded back together.
Reinforced. beyond just the shoe goo that you were using.
Yeah, exactly. Because shoe goo or CA, well, CA you definitely don't want to use because it's not flexible. It will just crack and then it'll rip right off.
Yeah.
But shoe goo is definitely better.
But not as.
It's not going to be as robust. Yeah. So that'll be in another episode.
I do have to say, people were checking in here. Brazen did check in as he actually kind of like he marked himself safe from any leaked releases this week.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? Luckily, everybody was super cool about it because they did not have to be. They could have been as angry and as upset as I was. Believe me, I was not in a good state after that one. But after talking to everybody on the phone, because that's what you do when you make a mistake, you own up to that mistake and you tell everybody and you do everything you can to prevent it leaking.
Exactly.
Did the best I could. I did the best I could, but no more releases that I know of because I probably won't get to know about them anymore.
Biting his tongue over there. And TGH, thank you, sir. Good to see you back. What's up, fellas? How's the comp builds going? They are cranking.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff happening, man. Lots of cool stuff.
I'm very excited
right now, but
very excited about. I need to make some serious progress this weekend.
Yes,
for sure.
Because you have a video coming next week.
I do have a video coming next week. So I need to make some progress. I've got some things done, which has been good. Did some more lasering last night. So I went to the audio shop last night to get some lasering done for my second round of prototyping. And it got it done. Took a very short amount of time. But then I was at the audio shop and hanging out, and then we all went to sushi, and then I didn't
BSing and stuff.
Yeah. The blowing people's hair around with stereos and vehicles. So I didn't get home.
I can do the same thing with a hairdryer.
So that was I didn't get as much done last night as I hoped, but
are you going to be carbon fibering this week?
I hope so. It depends on print times and things like that.
You got your molds made, right?
Well, I got the early forms of the mold. I didn't get done till like 1:00 last night drawing.
Oof.
I may make one of the other molds instead for this weekend, just so that I can get some stuff done. Because the print will be a lot smaller. So
good.
I can just print a smaller mold and get some things done, because like the hood one's going to be the largest mold, and you got to print at like 70% infill. And just with the size, I'm like, I may not have enough time to get it done. So.
Right. And you want to print it at a decent quality too, because that's what you're building the piece from. So quality in, quality out. Dana, the Prusa handles TPU absolutely fine. You just say, I'm using TPU. Put it on the textured bed. Poof. Or splow.
Mm-hmm.
How you like me now?
Kind of like yes, I've got a lot of printing to do, so we're gonna get that fired up. Hopefully tonight I can finalize. I may do a quick slice of the larger mold and just see what kind of time I'm looking at, and if it's absolutely wild, I'm just gonna go to the other one. And move forward. But then at least I can get some actual carbon fiber forging done and have something to show. So
awesome.
They all have to get done anyway. Why not?
Sooner rather than later. Jason Chilson wants to know, which truck are you most excited about building? And I'm sure that's for both of us. For me, it's Class 1. I think that's going to be... Actually, you know what? I kind of like both of them. Yeah. They're both different, and I think that's what appeals. Class 2 is obviously a little bit more comp, but Class 1 is still very comp.
Yeah, that's my Class 1 less comp, and I'm going more into the other stuff that I've been missing. So it's like my outlet for all of the fabricating that I've been holding myself back from doing. So that one is definitely there. I'll still do fine. Class 1 is fun, but it's
confidence is key.
Yeah, it'll be. But Class 2, that truck has been built for a while. I still have a lot of things that I plan to get done to it. And actually, this weekend, as much stuff as I said I need to get done, I'm actually going to travel to a comp for Class 2 this weekend.
So you're going to use the truck in its state, throw a cliffhanger on it, and
exactly.
Run
it. I'm gonna throw a coat of paint on a cliffhanger, probably Friday night before I leave for the comp Saturday morning. I mean, I can look in the drawer if you want to guess what colors are available. There.
Orange, dark orange, neon orange.
There's only one shade. Oh, I do have 2 shades of orange. How did I do that?
Moose Jaw must have given those to you.
What is TS12? Oh.
I don't have my TSs in this room.
That's TS. That's why. So I have PS and TS. Both are just orange.
Okay.
That's why I have 2 different kinds.
Well, for the cliffhanger, you can only use one of those. So
challenge accepted.
I mean, you can use both. One won't stick very well. You should mask off all the areas and use TS on like as a secondary color, so and I'll just flake right off.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt, in your latest video, you talked about doing a lot of sanding on the body. Yes, I did. What happened to smoothing it out with resin? Did that not work as expected? No, it's still going to work just fine. I'm just cutting down on the amount of resin I'm going to need to use. I'd rather sand, get it smooth adjacent, and then do a resin coat. Because even like on the cut lines where I did the bob, stuff like that has to be smoothed out and sanded beforehand. If you throw resin on top of it and cure it, it's still going to be lumpy. There's no way around it. So you got to smooth it out.
Yep.
And percentage of infill, all the body panels on that truck were at 75% infill. So it makes it really super rigid.
Yeah.
Oh. Very, very rigid. Like that's ABS style body. Sure adds a bit of weight, but that's fine.
I have a new cart here in the studio that has my Class 1 and my Class 2, and then I have a spot for another Class 2 block, because this is what my printer was sitting on. But I've now moved my printer over there, so I've got more space for trucks.
Good. And that's exactly what you needed.
I did need that. I agree. Thank you for agreeing as well.
I am acknowledging. I've been considering adding another shelf on top of this shelf.
Oh yeah. See, the reason I did this is
set of trucks up here.
I added a storage unit in here with like 20 cubbies in it. Like, I don't know, 9x9 cubbies. And that has helped a lot, move some things around and all that. And but now it was like it needed to go in the spot where the printer was, so I had to move everything over a little bit. So I feel like I'm in a weird place. Like my table's not right, my camera's it's like
everything's weird.
Yeah, I just get so used to sitting in here and the exact same. It was only like 4 inches over, but just like something's off.
Adam Tevin wants to know what my hat said in the video today.
Who asked you that exact same question today?
This ding dong.
I even went as far as, rather than just asking, like screenshot it and I cropped it down and then put it into Google Image or translate to see, and it had nothing. So I had to just ask.
So that's it's a Japanese dialect for Nihon, which is how you say Japan in Japanese. And it's from the company Nixon. It's only 1 letter different, which is why they did it. And it's also an homage to the Japanese baseball league.
You're so deep.
It's like Inception. Deep.
God.
So that's what it says, Nihon. Yep.
I feel like you should
I didn't say it was an interesting story.
Yeah.
The shelf the van is on
I
has
don't
a
have much
bow
for
in it.
mail call this week,
I guess
but I have a
does,
couple of
little
things.
bit. Yeah. I have one thing. Well, two things, technically. Two things. Also, somebody said they worked for Monster and they want to buy this van.
It's unavailable.
Unforsaleable.
It's been spoken for.
No. Ew. Who wants this thing? Nobody. I would love to buy this legendary van as a long-time employee.
I still want it.
I'm
going to put it right below the Unimog.
You don't get it.
I get it.
You can't have it. No, you don't get it, man.
I get it, man.
You don't like tracks as much as I do. The only person that can buy that, I think, would be Ken Block. And even then, it would require...
Even then, you'd be like, I'm not sure if this is you.
Yeah.
FaceTime me.
Yeah. What number are you? What number do you like?
Wait,
well,
no.
The story checks out. I'd like, if he could give me a ride in a car, that would be neat.
Yeah, like, then we'll call it square.
Maybe.
Did I have the titanium last week? I don't remember if I did.
Yep, I think you did. Yeah, you had a big box of titanium. Okay, well, I have two things. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing came last week. It actually came before Christmas, but I couldn't show it off.
Timely mail time.
Couldn't show it off until the day before the release.
Couldn't show it off, but you decided to.
So yeah, I have a fire team. It's so fun. I've been watching everybody else's videos, like all the other review videos that are out there.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't get it. Like a lot of the people in the comments didn't get it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reviewers were pretty much right on the money. Everything that I said I felt was pretty much straight on the money. It's a different driving experience than a Mojave. It's not like driving a Mojave at all. It handles a lot better.
You think that's just the size of the tires, then?
No. It's the width and the size of the body in relation to that. I think it actually might weigh less. I haven't weighed the Mojave in terms of the body structure and everything, but I think it probably is close to the same. But it is definitely a different driving dynamic, and it is so fun. It's not a stunt truck, and it's not a race truck. It's sort of somewhere in the middle. And with the handbrake and everything, it's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is. Like people in the comment, the looks of it, like directly for me, the looks of it did not immediately grab me and look for more. Right. I do see where they went for the that Westworld UTV thing. It's very clear that was their direct inspiration.
That was some definite inspiration. Yep.
I just don't like the cage and the fake Tweel tire. I know is not for me.
When I saw the Tweel as well, I was a bit like, that's a little toyish, but they work.
Yeah,
they work quite well.
You know, tires and wheels you can change, blah, blah, blah.
Sure. Actually, somebody else, there was another YouTuber who did like a what wheels and tires might look good on it as well. Did a whole, I think he did like a dozen different tires and wheel combos. The best one, Super Baja Ray 2.0. With the gray wheels.
Yeah.
It looks really good. Really good.
And Mike asking handbrake. The handbrake is good for handbrake slides and handbrake turns and handbrake things. Everything you would pull a handbrake for in a full-size car. Like, do it in an RC car. Like, that's all. That is fun. That is awesome. Like, I'm all for them adding that. I thought that was a cool feature when they added it in the Infraction 2.0. Like, all for it.
I put it in my Felony. I liked it so much.
Yes.
Gunnar Nissen, thanks very much. If Josh isn't getting it, I want the van. The van's not for sale.
Everything's for sale, Matt.
Everything's for sale. But it's not for sale right now, unless you give me $5,000. And even then, it would have to come with a ride in a Ken Block car.
Speaking of Team Garage Hack and Brazen Scale, since we were just talking about them several minutes ago, In my mail call this week, I got my Holmes TGH winch.
Yes.
Care of Brazen Scale.
Well,
Brett,
ooh la la.
Brett
I mean, he sent me some stuff too, but not
Brett
that.
Brett had one that he wasn't using at the moment. It's still in almost a new condition. Fantastic. So
cool.
This is for class 1. And he also sent me a skid plate, one of his multi-use skid plate, which I don't have multi-use for right now, but there's always a reason coming up. So, but yeah, got my winch for my class 1. Motor and all that stuff will be sorted before too long.
Cool.
That was my my big score of the week. That came yesterday. So thanks to Brett at Brazen Scale for reaching out saying he had one of those. I actually had a few people reach out, said they had one that they weren't using at the moment.
I had a couple of those messages too. Dana, one of our mods, he also has a friend. That's the end of the story. He also has a friend who was like, I'm not using one right now. And I was like, you know what? I will buy it from you. So that's on the way. So I've got one too. I'm only going to use that in class 2. I'm going to stick with the reefs in class 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, very appreciative to Brian. Thank you very much for that. That's amazing. But it's not here yet. So not technically mail call. The other thing I've got for mail call are some pliers.
Some servo pliers.
I got some servo pliers. So now I can start cutting all these servo wires on my class 2 build, because this thing is a rat's nest. Look at all this nonsense. Yeah. I'm also in the process right now of printing up a sort of a wire routing thing that will actually screw into the transfer case.
Gotcha.
So it'll just sit right on top to give me a nice little guide for all the wires to clean all that up. I'll sleeve them all after I trim them too. So that came. I got them. I got the servo bits from hobbyhobby.com. Hobby. There you go. Hobby.
They say it with that enthusiasm level.
I think Dave says it with a tiny bit more enthusiasm than that.
That's
if he sees the call ID,
right.
Definitely.
Right. That's perfect. I have what's the tool called? I honestly don't. I've always just called it
servo thing. Mine's just called a
servo pin
20sen. I think it might be on the thing.
Mine, I think, was a Max tool or something like that.
I'm digging through the trash.
But it's even with the correct tools, it's not easy to get those JST crimp tool, servo crimping tool. Yeah,
servo crimping pliers. Crimping pliers. That's probably what they're called.
What pliers are you using for servo leads? These are the ones we're talking about.
These ones.
Yeah. So mats are a little fancier
meaty
than mine. Mats are also wire strippers, cutters, butt connector crimpers. Mine are only for the servo pins.
And that would really hurt your lip if you put your lip in there. So don't.
I have to use multiple sets of pliers to achieve what Matt has there. And I still don't have butt connector crimpers on these.
I've also got this German tool.
Although I don't. Oh, yes. One of those high quality pieces of kit.
It's terrible.
Those are the ones that come in like basic. Yeah.
Abseriolung. Drat Schneider.
New servo pins. The hobby shops usually carry them.
Yeah. Hobby shops usually make up their own little bags and sell them.
Yeah. I have a couple.
You have a guy.
I have a couple few hundred bags of them.
I'm a servo wire guy.
Yeah. I was supposed to send some to Alex, but I forgot. But
they have them on A-Main too. There's actually they have an A-Main ProTech tool that does this
there you
as
go.
Well. So ProTech crimpers.
Just type servo plier and it'll probably come up.
Yeah. Start there.
Yeah, it'll probably pop up.
Yeah.
But
And
they're nice.
well,
to have. Like I said,
yeah, they are.
do
You
take
should
practice.
have them.
And once you do it, give each of the wires individually. Give it a firm tug just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
Because you're gonna
Yeah.
yank on that as you do at times, and you don't want something to.
Now, Josh, this is a family show.
You don't want it to pull out when that was not the intention. So
It's the last thing. Well, might be. Well,
I'm just saying.
It depends.
If that's not your goal, it's just
yes.
So, but it's a little bit of an art all the way around. Getting the wires cut, strip the correct length, and then getting each of the pinned connectors crimped at the same length, so that when you put them all back into the new end, they don't have buckle. Like a little bunch or buckle.
Yeah.
Take some
Plus,
practice.
You have to know which side to put these in too, because the pin has to go in a certain direction with most of these, because there's a bit of an offset angle to it.
There's a draft angle.
Draft angle. Thank you. So obviously, while I was in Hobby getting these, I couldn't help myself.
You got the Escort. You got the pre-painted.
I don't even
Ford
have
Escort.
to paint it. I just build it and it's done.
Yeah. I want it, but I want a clear body so that I can give it to somebody else to paint, of course.
But this means you don't have to. You can just give this to somebody. Finished.
I know.
Redline RC, Redline Trail RC, got to get back to what I'm doing. If you want to actually talk about meeting Ken or any monster stuff, reach out. No chance if you don't try. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, that's...
Ken Block has to personally piggyback me.
Yeah. Down the snowboard slope.
Then I want to meet Travis Pastrana too.
Buck David, thank you, sir.
All these things will happen as I'm like, oh, we're done. No, we're not done. I want to meet Travis Pastrana now.
There's just my thermos and this.
I don't need anything. I need these.
Buck dandy. Mats are really fancy and came with jumper cables and a Prius.
What did you say? What was that?
You're very fancy. Crimper, cutter, butt connector.
No, came with
stripper
jumper cables and a Prius. Escort giveaway teaser? Well, I don't know.
All right.
Oscar, I already answered the question about the hat. You're going to have to go back in time.
Yeah, and get the answer.
Because
we all wanted to know. Inquiring minds were plentiful.
Yeah, and that was right at the beginning. Almost.
Yeah, that's...
Or someone can explain it in the chat, maybe.
Yeah. It's like something else, but it's one letter different, and it sounds like it, but it's not, and it's like a baseball team.
Japan.
Tell me I'm wrong.
DK for comment of the night so far. Is that Tamiya released yet?
Yeah.
I should hope so. It was in the hobby shop. Oh, crap. Don't screenshot it.
Yeah.
It's like anybody who buys an NFT. I screenshotted it. Speaking of NFTs, let's just talk about this real quick. They're the stupidest thing in the whole world. Don't ever fall for that scam. A group of NFT enthusiasts, let's say, decided to buy an original copy
of the Declaration of Independence.
Close.
Constitution.
Of the novel Dune. But it was like a special edition of the book, and not very many existed. But in their twisted minds, they thought by buying the book that they bought for $6 million, that they were buying the complete rights to do whatever they wanted with said novel.
Okay.
They were buying a book. They bought a book.
A book. Yes.
Which does not give them any rights to do anything. So, right. But they're like, yeah, we're going to develop an animated series. We're starting to option it. We're looking at it. And it's like you can't do any of those things. They thought, yes, exactly, DK. They thought that they owned the copyright because they bought the book.
Yeah.
This is why NFTs are stupid, because the people who are buying them are stupid. Segue. I'm starting my own line of NFTs. So exactly. If you'd like to purchase some GIFs of my face,
every week. Well, it was a good run. Episode 97. It was.
We always have something positive to say, though. Don't worry about it. Oh, yeah. Dave's in here now. Hi, Dave. You missed me talking all about this store that Hobby.
Hobby.
Sorry, I meant Hobby. Oh, to make it worse, they bought the book version of a Dune screenplay for a movie that was never made. What a bunch of clowns. Oh, boy. All right.
We have a lot to get done still.
Do we?
And we do. What are we at for days? Like 81 days, 80 somewhere in there.
Oh God, are you talking about the comp builds? I don't want to.
Yeah, it's all I can think.
I'm nervous.
I know.
I'm nervous. I'm not actually. I'm not. I think I'm in good shape. My trucks look like trucks this week.
I know. I was like, your watchers already. I was like, shh. I was like, man, both of those look like trucks. Like, had me concerned.
How did he do it?
I know. I don't know.
It's not like him.
Slightly worried.
But don't worry. Like I said in response to your comment, I'm not to worry. I'll spend like 50% of the time staring at them from now on.
You do have all of the time coming up where you. Like this week, I sanded 2 bodies.
Yeah.
For a total of 68 hours.
I should be sanding right now.
Yeah, just like, that's good talk. I agree. Here's what I got in the man.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's man. I'm excited to get back to work on it tonight, but I definitely feel like I've missed some progress for the last 4 or 5 days, 3 or 4 days at least, and
most of the stuff that I did really came together on the day of filming. So
I forgot actually that I felt like I hadn't got anything done, but then I remembered that I spent a good amount of time this weekend working on the cage work for the titanium. Since I'm going to be building out titanium, I needed titanium brackets and things like that, and I spent several hours this week designing that all up and sent it to be laser cut, and then paid a hefty bill to have it laser cut, and they shipped today.
Wow, so, that's amazing.
And they're just in Reno. I could have them tomorrow.
That laser must be running nonstop if they can get it out to you that quickly.
Yeah. So
I hope they have more than one.
Yeah, I think they do.
They've got 2.
So yeah, I could have titanium stuff. I could technically be starting to work on cage stuff soon.
I'm hoping to reprint the cab and the cab back for C2.
Yep.
I might actually hit print as soon as this is over.
Nice.
And let it run overnight. And then I'm going to start cage work for C2 because it kind of ties the whole truck together.
Yeah, it really brings the room,
It really ties the room together.
Name of that cutting site again, sendcutsend.com.
Not cut, send, cut.
Right.
That's a different site.
There's also Oshcut, OSH cut. And I think they have similar pricing. Both of them have nice interfaces. Oshcut doesn't do titanium though, so that's why I ended up going to Send Cut Send. And they're literally just an hour and a half for 2 hours from me, so it's
a no-brainer.
And no, yeah, exactly. But not to fear, I have plans on how I expect to overcomplicate the hell out of cage construction as well.
I told you what I was thinking of doing, right?
What's that?
Well, I was going to design it. Thanks to your STL Sunday, by the way, because if you guys want to design, I'm sure you're not going to do it all the time, but if you guys want to learn how to design a cage in 3D, that episode is the one to watch. He walks you through it mostly. Does a really good job. But that's what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to print all of those pieces separately in resin, probably. So then I know exactly how big or how many cuts I have to make or where the bends are. It's just sort of like having a nice model of it before I actually do it, so I don't waste material.
Right. I've always, in the past, I've made drawing files of each of the tubes that I've done so that I had like a paper template. But honestly, with how cheap 3D printing and like, I could 3D print this stuff just as well. I'm just be like, yeah, okay. Like
that'll work. Yeah. Oh, hey, Nash is here from TWS.
I saw Nash earlier popping in the chat too. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I watched most of your TWS stream on Saturday.
It's a fun little truck, man. Got it all done. I've mostly got the CMS figured out too, without instructions. Because
CMS comes in the kit, but
you get all the pieces for it. It doesn't come in it doesn't come with the instructions for it yet. I think they're going to add that in as a rolling change. But yeah, it went together pretty well. Much better with Nash's help, of course, and another SBG forum member was on there too. I've probably overpowered it for now, just to see if it would fit.
Yeah, why not?
It does, yeah. And I've actually got the body cut out, and I won't be able to paint because it's a million degrees below zero here. But I do also have a hard body option for it too.
Which one?
Richard resin rotocast me a Toyota Blizzard a million years ago, and it's been sitting in my collection. So, got one of those.
Huh. Well, that would be interesting. Yeah. What does that look like?
Funny you should ask, Josh.
I'm slightly interested in this.
Let me get it out.
Mike J. So will this be a $10,000 C1 rig after supplies and third-party cutters? And I think that it will definitely be the most investment that I've ever put into a build. This was a real thing?
Yeah, it was made by Daihatsu.
I thought you said Toyota.
Yeah, they rebranded it as a Toyota.
Oh, okay.
It was a real thing. Richard rotocast it. Look at that. 2 of 5.
2 of 5. Mm-hmm. What does that body weigh?
Don't worry about it.
I'm
not comping with it. But it's
I'm just. Why can't I think of that word?
You're just curious?
Curious. Jesus. Couldn't think of curious. I was just curious based on rotocasting.
It's probably like a pound, maybe.
Oh, that's not that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
I've got servos that weigh that much.
Anyway, this is a project definitely for the summer because I am not going to start cutting resin inside.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Okay.
That would be horrible.
Really?
For my body? Yes.
Well, you know.
My lungs?
Aren't you just Mr. Safety?
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be a fun little...
Oh, I missed a... Squints Palidorus, I missed that. Sorry, sir. This one time at the hobby shop, I sold an SCX6 a week before the release date. I thought they had released it.
A week?
Yeah.
How would that even be possible?
Maybe he's just mocking you.
He might be joshing me a little bit. Yes, Vidjo, I was munching on a meat stick. I'm 2 in. I've got some more to get through here, but these are good.
They are good. That is why mine have been gone for weeks.
I ration because
I do have gluten-free angel turds.
None of that sounds good.
That's what Nicole's family has always called those little like dry type cookies that you see around the holidays.
Paint indoors like Josh.
That when you're done.
Okay. I had text Nicole to make me more green tea. So,
Sorry, I have some questions I haven't answered here.
Okay.
Oh, Redline, I don't think you're allowed to put links in the chat.
Yeah, it will.
Sorry.
Knock that out.
You can DM me though on Instagram.
The meat sticks Matt is eating are from Satisfied Jerky. They're the new teriyaki ones. They are amazing.
So good. I'd like you know what I'd like to see? The mango habanero in a meat stick.
I would be on board for that.
Yeah, me too. We're product people now.
Gluten-free cookies and green tea? What have we become as a society?
No, what has Josh become as a human?
I moved to California. Got a gluten allergy and
What are you talking about?
This hat is so uncomfortable to wear because the man bun is just mashed down back here. But I do it for the videos. So
Jesse wants to know if I scaled the body in Prusa Slicer. The Jeep body, no, that's the size it comes in. It's more 10th scale than it is 9th scale. You could scale it up to 9th scale if you wanted. It's like 0.87 or something. I can't remember exactly.
Alex, damn it, people! Can we get habanero things without mango?
I would like even like a cayenne pepper. That would be good too. There's been another murder.
We don't fruit the beer. Josh, is your tongue pierced yet? Brian.
They're killing you today. That's great. Brandon Coffey has a good question about classes. Would you or Josh be interested if, say, Class 1 or a new class was made that didn't allow flat rail chassis?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be. I'd like to go back to that. A nice C rail or box chassis rail.
Yeah, that I wouldn't want a new class. I don't think that's good for.
No, don't add another class.
Yeah, but
just modify the rules.
Went to that? Yes, all for it.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, the only difference between a Class 1 and a Class 2 right now, in terms of what the flat rail guys are doing, is angled skid.
Yep.
And the shock hoops have to be attached to the rails, not part of the rail.
Yes, I see what you mean by attached. They have to be fastened mechanically or welded.
Yeah, you can't just...
meaning that it can't be like a flat rail. I'll use my brazen scale here, for example. Yeah. This is my brazen scale C2, and you can see that the shock hoops are just a part of that rail.
Yeah, you can't use this in Class 1.
Same with that TGH Sherpa there. So that's why this can't be a C. And this also has the angled skid.
Right. So it's like it's angled. And it's sort of hard to see, but
it is.
Imagine, if you will, it's always going to tilt you forward.
Yeah.
Tony CCXRC went, Matt wants a tracks only class. That would be awesome.
So, but I would be of course, fully on board for that, just because I think that Matt and I may have had a private conversation today about the whole, like, this is one reason why scale comping is stupid. Because you can basically build a very disguised, but basically a comp rig with a body that meets the rules, but is absolutely unscale and cut in a way that looks terrible, but meets the rules. And if you're competitive, then that is the way that you should go. However, it looks dumb and people shouldn't be your friend. No. I'm kidding.
That was the gist of it. I mean,
I don't necessarily feel that strong. I do feel that strong about it in some ways, but I don't as well, because I think that people in scale are the reason that scale is still so popular, because they self-correct.
Yep.
Because it does this. This isn't new. This whole, like, people call them like belly draggers and all that. I'm like, for one, that's a really old term that we used to use. Like, for one, they call them belly draggers. I'm like, well, that's not even what these are. They're not. Like, if you want to see belly draggers, go look at 2008 belly draggers. Like, we called them that because the belly almost drug while it drove. Like,
yeah.
So
there's a big difference. There is a big difference between what's happening now and what happened before, originally, like comp crawlers. Like,
so,
you know, when the XR10 and, you know, the Shafties and all those things were really popular, that was comp crawling. And it's almost like there's kind of been this like circle where, you know, it's all about performance, and it becomes all about performance, and then it meets again, and we're just doing what we already did.
The problem with comp crawling is that there's only so much. So it was like, comp crawling is what it, honestly, when we started comp crawling, they basically looked like our scale trucks, because for one, we wanted trucks to look like trucks.
Right.
And then we all started getting really competitive, and certain things became legal and not legal. Like, we had, like, back in the day, early, we had tube chassis. We called them tubers. You got a tuber? Like,
y'all running a tuber?
Yeah, not one of them good tubers. Like, fucking clever names. But you either had a tuber or you had a TVP, twin vertical plate. But then someone came up with the idea. Can't remember who did it first. T1E was definitely like the ones to kind of like start making it popular, and T1E was ran by Silas Swaim and Mike Rosenthal out of the South, and they made what was called the Moon Buggy, and it was basically a TVP chassis but with a cab on the top that met the tuber rules, because tubers could be smaller because of like their rigid thing. They don't move around like a hard or like a Lexan body. So like you can be smaller. So they met those. And then from there, things started getting way less scale and just more and more towards performance.
Yeah.
And to the point where things had to be super lightweight. And all like they're just these little, like if you look at 2.2 MOA cars now, like they're robots. They don't look anything like a real vehicle.
No.
But there was no scale aspect still in that to correct the path to back to fun. Now they're super lightweight. They can be fragile. They don't look like anything, but they're super capable.
Yeah.
Now,
and what I'd love to see happen. I think this would be amazing and hilarious. And obviously, I don't want this to happen, but I'm waiting for somebody to go, you know what? What if I put the motor on the axle?
Like Tesla does it. It's scale.
But
I just put a Tesla body on it.
And then it just becomes a comp crawler.
And then it's
then the body is this big.
So
the axles are way out front. I mean, like, it's just
right.
I would love a Class 1 C-channel rails. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
West Desert Wheeler. I bought my first MOA. Should show up tomorrow.
I saw that. Where'd you buy that out of, Logan? Ding dong. Like, it was. You bought it at Costa Rica or something. I can't remember. But the nice thing is, like, as comp crawling did that. It peaked at a certain point, probably around 2012 or 13 is when it like really peaked. And the best thing is that scale kind of started around like, not started, but like became this mass market thing with like the SCX10 around like 2009-ish, if I remember. And it was starting to grow in popularity. But mainly it was like people who were just kind of driving around. Like, who's going to want to do that? You're just going to go drive in the woods like a weirdo? Like,
don't let that guy near your kids.
Yeah. But so like, and then scale started kind of exploding as the wane of the comp crawling, was happening. And then all of a sudden people were like, comp crawling's little and no one's doing it hardly anymore. And the guys with scale trucks are like, I kind of want to compete at something. We should.
Yeah, is there a way we could do this?
So then, this scale rules thing came up. And I remember like when this was new and I was arguing at the time about, well, for one, how dumb scale comp crawling was, because with scale, like, it's still dumb. I stand by everything that I said then. I do dumb things all the time, though. So
that's dumb. I can't wait to do it.
As people make these trucks that look ridiculous and all they want to do is compete, there's still people who be like, cool, I still want to compete too. I don't care about that thing, though. I'm still going to build something.
Yeah, I want it to look like a truck, please.
And those people still want to compete. That is still why scale comp, that is the reason that scale comp crawling exists still and is still cool, even though it's stupid.
Yep. Agreed.
Come join us.
I can't wait.
Have fun with us.
Yeah, but to take C1 back to a much more scale-ish kind of thing, that would be kind of neat. Things you'll never see happen, though. It'll never be a mandatory hard body. They'll never do that.
Right.
Just because you have to make it accessible for people.
Agreed.
Right. There's a fine balance. You don't want to seem elitist and you don't want to make it impossible for people to enter. Like, you want people to be able to go, oh, that sounds really fun. I want to try that. What do I need to get? Go get this and glue some firewood to the roof.
Right. Yeah, it's, really, you can buy trucks that you can take out of the box and then go compete. It's like, and you could do that before too. It's just like, it's not going to be all that.
Right. Exactly. He bought that thing in Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico.
So yeah, comping is an excuse to get together with like-minded people. I agree. I'm always for that. But
the
usually,
social aspect is
get-togethers or big events that are not specifically comp crawling are so much larger.
Yes,
that's
right. Because people, I think people function better with fewer rules. Axial Fest is great because they have little side things.
Oh, sure.
You want to race your Yetis? I mean, they probably don't do that anymore.
They do.
There's still a Yeti class? That's amazing.
Yeah. I think it's called an IFS class.
Okay, all right.
But still.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can go there and you can compete in those little events with your axial stuff. Or you can just head out to the trails. Yep. And all you have to do is have an axial-based truck. It doesn't even have to be fully axial, according to what I just learned a few weeks ago.
Yeah, because, I mean, that only happened like 3 years ago. But
well, I haven't been in 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Hi Tim, Small Factory said, wish Sorka would push Class 0. I don't disagree. I would like to see them do that too, but I think the people, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but I think the people who are running Sorka aren't so scale-minded.
There's some in there, but even the ones that kind of are still comp people.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, Class 0 isn't really a comp.
Right. Class, and honestly, I'm not. I have zero care about Class 0.
Yeah, that's not for Josh because he doesn't like putting a man in his trucks. And his interiors don't have steering wheels that aren't made of craft foam. So I don't even want to see it. Don't get it out here. Don't get it. I would be surprised if it was ever officially recognized. I'd be pleasantly surprised if it was, but I don't see it happening.
I don't think that it's needed either. It's another class to run and do, like,
it's already a lot to do 3 classes.
Yeah, it's already a lot. So,
and I would like to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah,
I think if you want to do Class 0, that's something you do after. Yeah. After all the men are done.
As I say, Class 0 usually happens at those events still. They're just like, yeah, the nerds are playing over there.
How many rollovers have there been? None.
Yeah. Don't worry. Everyone's super worried about breaking off their CB antenna on it. Like,
you get 1,000 Hand of Gods before you lose any points. Yeah. Fun fact, I ran the half track in Class 0 one year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How did that work though? Because that doesn't have a licensed tire.
Oh yes, it did. They're not even tires. They're just tracks.
I mean,
don't worry about it. It was fine.
So, yeah, that either way,
yeah.
Like I'm gonna have, I have fun competing regardless.
Oh yeah.
I have more fun though building trucks. So no matter what, I'm gonna build a truck and go drive it. And
for me, it's definitely the fun of building first, and then the fun of seeing people and having a few chuckles second.
Yeah.
And then third is the actual competition. I'll take it seriously. I mean, heck, I printed out a little knob from my radio today.
Look so at you go.
I can one-handed drive. Well, I can steer like a normal person with this hand, but then I can steer the back, third, or
is that
rear
what these
steer.
Are?
Yeah, did you print those? Yeah.
No. But I got a package a while back, and I think it was when I got the Hyrax 1.0s.
Okay.
And these were in there. And they've been sitting on my bench. They came from the guys at Proline initially.
Well, they must have molded it then. And
No, they're 3D printed.
So somebody at Proline made this.
Was like, yeah. So that makes total sense.
But it's on Horizon's Thingiverse page if you have a DX5 Pro.
That's hilarious. And I was just like, I was literally fiddling with them.
They have the convex and the concave?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is. So you replace your pot knob. It says I knob on there. And I was like, yes, I am a knob. And now you can rear steer with your thumb, throttle, and steer with your other hand. Amazing.
Not bad.
Not bad at all. That's comping right there, pal.
That might be... I could probably manage that on a... Well, not on this one. There's the knobs on the front on the 4PM.
Yeah, the knob's right in front of me.
4PV. That might be my 4PV. My 4PM and 7.
I almost spit out my beer.
Listen, thanks, sir. But for those talking about jerky, there's a hashtag scale Harley or hashtag Harley scale 10% off coupon on Satisfied jerky still. So
my coupon code must be lost in the mail.
One scale Harley, that's in Scale Builders Guild and Harley. And the other one is Harley. God, we've had this discussion.
Sorry. No, we talked about this last week. I was so mad last week at myself.
Oh, I know.
For my failures in life that I
had a ringing in your ear all night while you talked.
Yeah. I have to say this comment. Is Circa time? Well, there's two things here. Is Circa time-based or points? Both.
Yes.
There is a time limit of 6 minutes for 10 gates, and there's a point maximum too, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember.
So it's usually 40 points for a course. And
which is 4 recoveries.
Well,
4 hand-aided recoveries.
The points that you get in comp crawling, to simplify down, a reverse is 1 point. A rollover where you have to grab it by hand and then right it is 5 points. If you hit 5 points.
Okay.
If you hit a gate, that is 10 points. Or if your truck falls in an area or off course and you literally have to, or it rolls in a way that you can't just roll it over, you have to pick it up for any reason or touch it for any reason other than just a rollover, then it's a 10-point penalty and you go back to the previous gate. So,
yep. So you can literally do that all at the first gate.
You can point out before the first gate if it's possible. Now, every gate you get through is -2 points, but those points don't calculated accrue into your total score until you're done.
Yep.
So if you're at 39 points, but you've made it through 8 gates, you don't get that -16 off. You don't have any points. You only have 40 penalty points. And then progress is calculated at the end.
Yep.
So.
And then the next comment that I had to read from Paul Schulman here. I have a ton more fun seeing what lines it can do on the trail rather than having a wiener measuring contest.
I
don't take it that seriously. First of all, I've seen people get so mad they've thrown their truck in the woods.
I've seen people do that when it's not a comp. Like, I mean,
I will be laughing on course more than anything. There will be video evidence to prove that.
Oh, yeah. We will be
such
laughing
a fun time
at Matt from a distance, too. Well, not even that far away. Close enough for him to hear it.
Is winching a point? Yes, Tony.
Oh, crap. Winching also. And winching is a 2-point penalty.
Is it 2?
Yeah, I believe so.
It was 5.
No, it's 2 points.
I'm just going to bring up the rules here.
Do you lose points if you time out or do you get a DQ? So how that works is that, say you only made it through 2 gates and then you time out. You get 40, you get the maximum amount of points, 40, but they subtract the progress points that you made. So if you made it through 2 gates, that'd be -4. So you take 40 minus 4 and you get a 36. So if you didn't finish, it kind of gives you a measurement of where, if you didn't have any penalty points but still timed out, you still get 40. If you made it to almost the last gate and you took 1 reverse before you made it through, still 40. Like, if you point out or time out, it's 40 points minus your progress.
XWAMTB, I'm definitely murdering that name. The crawl space in Colorado swapped to Class 3 for Class 0.
I was going to read that and then you interrupted me about something that probably didn't matter. But I was shocked to hear that. For one, with how competitive the Colorado guys are.
David is very scale.
David is very scale. That is true. But I don't mean like the crawl space guys. The crawl space guys, Kaika, the owner of the main crawl space, is one of the top drivers in the country if you're going by the results of previous national level events. And he's a dominating driver and he's super talented in Class 3. So I'm shocked to hear that.
Yeah.
Beyond just Akaika, I was saying, like, the people in Colorado, they have such a good scene of competition with fairly regular events. Like, there is really good Colorado drivers.
Yes. Really
Let alone they've got great terrain around, but terrain is one thing that it obviously encourages more people to become drivers and that it finds good ones, but you don't need awesome terrain to become a good driver. You can become a really good driver on some handmade stuff.
That's really good to know.
Yeah.
Being where I'm from.
You need to know how your truck reacts to everything.
That's right. And that's why practice. I'm talking about practice.
Yeah. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
This is no game. I'm talking about practice. He doesn't know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what movie you're quoting, but
That's not a movie. That's real life. It's hashtag Scale Harley or Harley Scale for your jerky discounts. So the woods is the place to be at comps then. Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of meetings in the woods, safety meetings generally.
No, I mean they're because of the guy throwing the truck in the woods.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid truck, it's your fault. Not even Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso ripped it off from a real thing too, Chris.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but the competition aspect of it is what? I didn't hear what you said or understand.
Wait, Adam Tevin. Wait, you guys measure your wieners in the woods? Usually it's on the rocks.
Oh my goodness.
I feel if it doesn't make it onto the bumper sticker sheet, I'm making a t-shirt.
You're going to put a scale on it with how many squares? If you do it, just put a row of squares across. And you're like, you know why.
You know what this is. I'll just photograph my workbench.
Oh, okay. I was like, photograph your what? Please no.
And after this show, YouTube demonetized us.
Yeah, this is the one that would do it.
Yeah, definitely. A tag for Josh's trucks for scale points and his view of the rules. Oh, license plate. FUCM. No, Josh he's going to be well within the rules.
I will be squarely within the rules. Matt is just like parked neatly and perfectly between the lines. And I'm gonna J turn into a parking spot and like look out in the mirror, be like, close enough.
I was a bit like
Matt squared up to it 3 times. Like pulled him like he's got like the push button one on the dash. He doesn't even have like a shift. He's like and he backs up.
No, I use the auto park.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that it's exactly
whatever the rules say. That's what I'm doing. I also printed the rear fenders I wanted to mention. These are not quite wide enough. So I'm going to
scale them.
Can I just scale the height?
Yeah, you can scale in one direction only.
Okay, good.
Just unclick the little lock so that it only scales in one of the axes.
Is that in the slicer I do that?
Yep.
Good, because I need like this much.
Perfect. Easy.
Yeah.
Yep.
We should ask Nicole how many squares Josh is. Why does your Why does my shirt have 3.5 squares? Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. This show is over. Go home.
Yeah. Go home, show. You're drunk. Oh my goodness. Now you have to decide where you're going to put the square. You're going to put the squares on the front or on the back. Like, what do you want? Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it coming? Or you not?
I think it's got to be on the front. Should it be horizontal or vertical?
What's that white spot on your shirt? MEK. Slurry.
Stock oil.
You gotta dodge those every once in a while.
Oh, I haven't done new merch in a long time, so I feel like this could be the one.
This could be.
Small Factory goes, I want a shirt with just one square printed on it. Do you want the darker shade of gray or the lighter shade of gray? Tetris shape.
Tetris looks to the right.
What a bunch of children we are. Oh my God. RC Manchild, speaking segue. Thanks for the dollary dues. I put 4.50 Lil Nova foams on KMC bully wheels with deep woods tires. Why do the inner foams move around on the beadlock ring? Tires too wide? Question mark. I don't know that deep woods tire off by heart.
Let's see. I mean, if it moves around, you can put some like double-sided tape on the inside of the wheel as an option if you're worried about it. I'm usually not crazy worried about that. But if you are, or you have an extremely wide tire that isn't getting full. The other thing you could do is get the CI tuning discs, which are like a flat outer disc, and you can put it towards the outside or the inside of the tire.
Those usually help.
And those will help.
It is a
fill out
4.6 inch tire.
Well, they have multiple sizes too.
He's talking about the 1.9s.
Don't they have C1 1.9s too?
Yeah, maybe. If it's a 4.6 outer diameter and he's using a 4.5 inch foam, it shouldn't.
That's fairly decent.
Yeah,
logic.
that should be okay. It's probably just the inner foams are always going to move around the inner beadlock ring.
Right. I mean,
yeah.
And you, like I said, you can throw some double-sided tape in there if you want to just.
Yeah.
You're worried.
If you want to lock it down, then you can do that. Yeah. Do what Josh does. Don't do what Johnny does.
Brian Sherwood, thanks, sir. I can't beat any of this. The pain. What? No.
Not up or down. Squares should be diagonal.
I'm concerned. For
yeah. Pointy.
I don't want to.
David, the hat. I talked about the hat earlier in the show, so go back and watch towards the beginning. We definitely talked about that. It's
baseball,
Japanese.
One letter. Japan. That you'll be just as satisfied knowing those three things as you will as going back and watching. Oh my god.
Oh boy. Recommend a micro servo for dig setup without breaking the bank.
EcoPower 640T from A-Main is decent. Pretty cheap. It's like 65 ounce inches. I think it's like $20 or something like that.
There you go.
I hate micro servos in most cases, but that one is probably about as. I mean, if you want to like,
it's budget friendly anyway.
Yeah, if you want to go more expensive, they exist. Reef's Micro 99
Reef's
is one
Micro
of them.
99.
NSDRC has a pretty powerful little guy, and so other than that, I avoid them when I can. So
Tony, stop. 2 or 3 squares wide. Stop. Rascal Racing. What about the Arma release? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Never heard of it.
Nothing happened.
So, yeah. AGF-RC. AGF, yeah, they're an OEM for some of the manufacturers as well. But, so yeah. Let's see. What else? I don't even know what else is going on. I have a comp this weekend. I hope to get more video done. Your video, I was happy to see so much of your progress. It made me a little bit concerned. That's fine.
You don't have anything to be concerned about. Did you like the look of that box that I made for the SE?
Yeah. Super simple little.
Super simple. It took me a little while because I'm not good.
Oh.
I had to learn how to make clips and stuff, and
Yeah.
I learned a bunch of new tools on how to like make things like this, though. So I felt like I learned a bunch of stuff, which was good.
Which is funny. Fusion 360, they just put out their new release information yesterday on the upcoming update to Fusion for this month. And they're adding a bunch of like pre-made clip tools. like for plastic clip. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Super helpful.
I'm glad you learned all those skills. But yeah,
thanks, Autodesk.
Exactly. My I did not do anything fancy for that. Mine all just kind of sits up here on a little tray that I made. But
oh, that's nice though. That looks good.
It's a carbon fiber tray that sits across the top of the VFD, which I at least got that fancy.
I'm all of a sudden I'm realizing I'm gonna need to build some interiors. I'm a little bit cagey about that idea. I'm gonna have to see how many points I can get out of C23 before I start busting out the styrene.
I need to start getting a list together and figuring out where I really need to spend the time as well.
Because if I can avoid it,
yeah,
I probably will.
That's exactly it. Tommy, I'm just going to use mini servos to shift a Phoenix. Yeah, you can. I've seen a lot of people do it.
There's adapters.
And
people make little adapters.
We even tested it with those 640Ts from A-Main, and they worked fine. So, torpedo. You guys, by chance, use any super cheap Hobbywing 1080 ESCs in any of your rigs? I've got a bunch of 1080s. 1080s are a solid ESC for the money. Good solid go-to. I use 1060s if I really want to get cheap on something. But like 1080s, I used a
1080 in the TRX4 budget build.
I used a 1080 in the budget build as well. No, nothing in here. Do I have a 1080 in? I've got some 1060s in a couple of things, just like some Tamiya things. But
we should try that ISDT one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when I will. I bet I have 5 new 1080s and 1060s each in that box. I had got a deal on at one point, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take a bunch of those. So I have them for whatever. But that ISDT 70, the regular retail is going to be like $25. I think right now it's easiest to find them for about 35. But
it's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good budget one. Good first crawler for a beginner. I know the TRX4 is good, but what else should I consider?
SCX2.
Well, yeah, SCX-10 Element. SCX-10 if you really like portals. Josh is not as big of a fan. Josh is not as big of a fan of the SCX-10 It's definitely more of a what'd you say?
It's more scale focused.
It is more scale focused.
It doesn't drive nearly as nice as an SCX-10 Like
no,
the motor's very high. The portals make it higher. It's a bit kind of. It's got a very detailed and heavy body that sits up there then as well. So it kind of goes, flops around a bunch. But the body, like I would say, maybe with the exception of the TRX4 Bronco, there's nobody that touches their body.
That's true. That's true.
They're just right now they're one of the best bodies. Like
100%.
Detail is great, proportions are good, molded
decent interior,
lots
of plastic pieces,
and
and it looks great. It looks really good. If you're into Jeeps,
spot on.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. 1080s do not like salt water. I have news for you. No electronics like salt water.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
But if you're going to do it with a 1080 because they're cheap. Like,
yeah.
Don't do it with something good.
Yeah, don't use your RX4. Redline Trail RC, thank you very much. You are cool people. This was my first live show. Keep it up, man. Very fun. Consider that considered.
You know what? We were going to stop. Yeah. But 98, episode 98 coming next week.
Yeah, we're definitely going to keep going. Thank you.
Well, there was a question about a little bit back here. Someone said, oh, yeah, DA Law. Have you guys ever 3D printed molds to do pressed carbon, forged carbon parts? Go check the Road to Scale Nationals video series. It will be in there hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. Kyosho Supercharged Dodge Charger. I have one on the way.
There you go.
Yep, I know
flippy floppy.
Yeah, the flippy floppy headlights. Yep. Tony from CCXRC already has one. RC Driver already has one. So if you want to see some early stuff, I think they already have some video content out there. But it looks great. I mean, for a Lexan-bodied phaser, it looks pretty darn good. Nice little details added for the scale nerd in you. Max Teskey, my SCX-103 that I just purchased has a really loud and annoying click. What could that be? Well, the gears in the transmission, there's one side of them. It's a square cut tab for the pin. On the other side, it's a circular tab. And sometimes in production, they get put in improperly.
It's
flip
the
them
first
around.
2 gears.
Yeah, it's the first 2 gears.
Yeah. Not the spur gear, but the next one in.
Yeah. Flip those around. That might help.
I think it's the top one specifically is where that happens.
Yep.
But either way, take a look.
So too.
So yeah.
Tony just said, I'd wait for Matt's video. He kills it. I usually also put them out a day before they're supposed to come out.
Yeah. Like, oh, look at that. Who knows? Yeah. I'm just trying to think. It's going to be I feel like the events are going to be here before we know it.
Dude, I keep looking at the calendar and I go, it's only middle of January. I've got 2 months practically.
I feel like it's already the end of January. It's like tomorrow's the 20th. I'm like, we're at the end. There's not January's over now. Like
we have 2 months. We have 2 months before I'm in the car. Before I'm in the car driving to Alabama. Hey.
Yeah. It's scary.
It is a bit scary.
So
this is a lot more scary than I think 2020 was in terms of,
and I don't know why.
Timing. I think because that one we had committed earlier.
I don't think so.
No?
No. I think that we were.
You know what? I was probably more relaxed because I was already building the Jelly Bean.
That could have been it.
And class 1 was done. And class 3, I was just switching axles.
Yeah.
So it probably felt a lot easier.
Is it really 80 days? Ooh.
That doesn't sound like a lot.
It's not, man. Not when you have like real life things in the, like I think Nicole and I have a trip in the middle of that.
I've got a full-time job.
I got one of those
too. It takes
too.
a lot of my time.
Yeah, like man. So yeah, that's it's a thing. So just build it while you drive. Throw the 3D printer in there on an inverter. Don't turn off the car.
It's gonna be really hard to fill it up with gas.
You can let them run. That's just one of those stickers.
Mail call yet? Yes, we did mail call. It was a short mail call this week. It was a pretty uninspired mail call.
I have one other thing, but it's like camera gear stuff that's not very interesting.
Boring.
I'm getting rid of a tripod on the ground.
I really like the overhead setup for build videos. That is fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I should use my overhead more.
It's a pain in the butt for me to set it up, but I do it.
Mine's permanent. I just need to use it more.
I don't know. That camera you've been trying to use sucks.
Honestly, I don't think it's the camera. I think that I've got a faulty capture card, and that's probably my issue. So, one of
This
those.
new computer doesn't have space for that. There's no expansion.
Oh yes, exactly. So all of yours, they're going to be external USB'd in.
They're all USB'd in, and even
and then you can't add a USB card for more lanes or anything.
No, and that's the thing. I had to be sure that the card that I was using had at least 2 lanes so I could get 2 1080 signals in.
Right.
Good.
Oof.
Jesse just goes, Matt, you need an intern for your day job and have them do all the sanding for you. All right,
yeah,
so
just don't worry about this project. This is for a project you'll see.
The first thing you need to learn about editing is sanding. Really? Yeah, whatever you learned in school, unlearn that. We're starting from scratch.
The real world's where you learn the things that matter.
Speaking of, we're also learning how to scratch build. But is this about editing? Are you building things? I guess. Get to work.
Here's a good question. Matt and Josh, do you guys use price effective servos since you guys do so many builds like Amazon servos?
No. Well, yes. I use them in the super scale build because I needed 4 cheap servos. One on each axle.
I have as well wheel. For like Tamiya builds and things like that. Where I'm using, I'm throwing in it doesn't matter. So
right, in a Tamiya build, I will use a takeoff servo. So if I got an RTR,
right,
and I'm upgrading that, which I generally always do, the takeoffs go into those builds. But do I buy the cheap basic stuff? Not usually.
I do buy some. Like I'll buy Eco Power from A-Main, the 110Ts. They're super cheap, and I usually buy a handful of those, but just for like things like a Tamiya build or something like that. Beyond that, if it's for a truck that I'm like a rock truck of any sort like you see here, and I know I'm going to drive it, I want enough power to move the rocks. Like,
yes.
Once you just like, I used to be like, like 300 ounce inches or nothing, or no less than that. And now I'm just like 600 ounce inches or nothing. Like, I mean, honestly, at this point, it's just like, if it doesn't have 600 ounce inches, I'm like, nah, when I turn the steering wheel, I want it to turn. Like,
yep. Oh, DK, you have a question about blizzards? All right.
Is Toyota or Kyosho?
Kyosho. One moment. Just put it down so we can all
Matt
look
does
at
that.
it together.
Jesse brought up the HK servo. I did pick up some of those. I talked about those in the news. HK Hobbies popped up. They have like basically cheapy servos, kind of $35, but they're direct power 2 to 4S. So high power, but like $35. The direct power stuff, it's just like so I did pick up some of those for those, like, I just want to put something in there.
Right.
But so ounce inches matter exactly. So yeah, it was I'm pretty interested in this. HK Hobbies is those. So I think I put one in that scattergun chassis that I swapped that honcho into. HK, not Hobby King. No, it's HK Hobbies.
Yeah.
Hobby King. It's not Hobby King on the state. It's actually it's new HK. Company. It's stateside. So, yep. Anyway, so now let's see your snowmobile.
Okay. So DK wanted to know, what was his question? If I wanted to upgrade ESCs, how would I do that since there's 2? Well, I'm pretty sure what you do is you change. Yeah, I didn't. I didn't swap them out. I left them as is. Nothing has changed there. What I did was I did the mixing different on the radio. So what you're telling it, because in the original radio, it's like, you know, an old stick radio. So, you know, forward, reverse is on one and turning is on the other. And what the ESC is basically doing is it's saying, or the transmitter is saying to the ESC, as I'm going forward, put more power left or more power right. But all you have to do is program your radio to do those things with mixing. And you could just swap out this ESC for a Sabertooth, which is designed specifically for this purpose.
Oh, there is. Interesting.
Yeah, there is a
How much
whole...
does the Sabertooth cost?
I think it's like $100 or thereabouts.
So you could probably throw in two 1060s cheaper.
Yeah, but that's not... Yeah, I mean, you just
Same thing.
keep using... Yeah, but you can just keep using the stock ESCs.
Sure, but like my Blizzard, I blew up an ESC. So
Right, because you don't know how to drive. You don't.
Because I use all of the throttle range.
Yeah, throttle on or off.
No, I just
And
use all of it at some point.
Did you run it in snow or did you run it in California heat?
Snow. Thank you.
Anyway, yeah, it's all in the mixing on the radio. And I feel like I should have done a episode on that. Maybe I didn't.
You did
I feel
not.
like I talked about this.
You might have
at
done.
some
Maybe you
point.
did it on the bench.
Maybe it was on the bench. But yeah, you can change the mixing. You have to use a classy radio. You cannot use like there has to be like a mixing specific function on
Right.
your radio in order to handle it. The DX5 Pro was definitely one of them. I'm sure any Futaba radio will do it too. But yeah, it's basically saying that steering is a function of throttle.
Right.
Or is it the other way around? No, it's that way. So throttle is just on, but steering becomes a function of that throttle.
Yep.
So left, less right throttle. Right, more left, less left throttle. I don't know. I also
But
put
yes.
lights in it, so it's got lights now for
Also
my
put
trick
lights
RC.
in it. Makes-
Now I can drive it at night. I haven't driven it yet.
Your
We have
house
all this
slippers on
snow.
the deck.
Yeah, I should actually take it out tonight. And take it out mean just sit in my back room, just watch it drive around the backyard. But it's great. Yeah, mixing.
So yeah, exactly. My Blizzard. Where did my Blizzard go? I think I have I have the regular Blizzard here. My Trail King, which is the Blizzard without the plow, is is at Phoenix's place. So
Yeah. This is true. Dana said in mixing you need a radio that can run two mixes at the same time. The DX5 Rugged does not have enough mixing capability to do it. That's why it's on the 5 Pro.
which I've had walked someone through that before because they had a situation where they couldn't. You can technically do it without, but you just can't turn left at full throttle. So like if you just mix it all into one side, then you can get the more or less on one track so that it will do it. But then once you hit full throttle, you won't be able to turn. You'll be able to turn right but no left. So you have to back off. But it worked. If you only have one mix, you can get by.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so Sabertooth, if cheap radio, but fancy radio with mixing allows the ESCs that are in there, or any other ESCs. Yes. Correct.
So, yes, there you go.
Glad we answered that. Glad we got to talk about a tracked vehicle twice tonight.
Yeah, a super popular one. The
Blizzard is super popular. They're always out of stock.
I just wish that it was still like 540 motors. The 380s are a little lacking.
Man. Tim, Small Factory, he did a fully modded out single motor screamer. Like, this thing just ripped.
Yeah.
And I wanted to buy it so badly, and then he sold it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So, I know. That's right. My wife did troll me clearing the snow with the blizzard last winter. She took all the video.
Or just use a twin stick like God intended. Now, I changed mine out because I went to go shoot a video and I'm like, I can't film and use a twin stick. I'd have to like put it in my mouth.
I had to
look like Stephen Hawking, just
tripod style video to shoot the blizzard the last time, and I was like, nope, not doing that again.
Not doing it.
That's why I swapped it out so I could shoot normal video with it.
Same reason I did. But
hey, can we talk about tow out for a minute?
Sure.
Are you a fan of towing out?
No. I mean, if anything, I will usually do a little bit of tow in.
Oh.
But
interesting.
The reason that I don't like tow out is generally when you steer, this tire, the inside tire, is the one that hits first. It hits it'll hit the link in there.
Yep.
So when you tow out, you're already starting that tire towards that direction. So you're going to hit that link basically earlier, and then this one's going to be further out. So to me, I've always looked at it like it's reducing the amount of steering angle that I'm able to get. Now, the conversation about Ackerman and all that, that's a whole nother thing, because in an off-road truck, you're not talking about equal traction all over. So I don't honestly even give any concern to Ackerman in these type of trucks. So I want my tires to be turned as much as possible at any angle. So if this one's hitting, I want this one to be even more if it has room. And for that reason, that's why, if any, normally I run straight, but if I run anything, it's a little bit of tow in. There's my reasoning.
All right. Cool.
Tell me why you were asking.
Because I was considering running some tow out for my Class 2 truck.
How come? What was your thought?
I got the impression from some people that I've spoken to that it actually does afford you a little more, like a slightly tighter radius.
I can't think of why that would be true.
Okay.
I can't think of the reasoning where that would become the true statement, but I'm not saying that. For trailing, no, but for crawling, a little bit helps. For what, tow out, or why would tow out help you with crawling? I don't see how that would be true either.
Yeah, I'm just curious because I'm trying to squeeze whatever performance advantages I can.
So yeah, I mean, that is why I say tow in. You know, the thought of like, whenever someone tries to make an argument about like, I like, like Ackerman is important or just anything like that, I'm like, well, if you're talking about a street car on pavement, I understand. If you start talking about that with rock crawling, where you're hanging a tire and you're hoping everything on the traction that one tire may have at times, like none of that matters. You just need it to do the maximum amount of effort and control that you're asking it to do, whether that's steering angle or grip or whatever. As far as tow in or tow out affecting traction while crawling, I can't see it. The only
a lot of guys are saying it's either only useful at high speed or two-wheel drive. They also think it could also help just catch things because you just got a little extra tow out on the tire. But yeah, I don't know.
I can't see how that would be the case. Better side hilling on tow out and bites better on turning. It does help. I don't see how that would have any effect on a flat surface. Maybe and that like doing a shootout or what, like you can't really like shootouts. There's to remove all the variables. Like
It's impossible. Anytime
Yeah,
there's a
so,
comparison video, they're
doing
never the
this side
same.
by side. I'm like, well, there's 100 flaws in everything that you're doing. It's just like, okay, any of the top 10 or like this versus that. I'm just like, it honestly, like I won't do them just because I can't eliminate the things, and I think that I can't look past that. And I think that when people do that, I'm just like,
I always feel like no matter even if I got it absolutely 100% perfect, driver error is the biggest thing. Like,
yeah,
it's impossible to repeat that. And the way in which you drive a truck is also very hard to repeat from one truck to the next. But ultimately, I think I don't do that style of video because I think I would always there would always be some sort of bias.
there's always that. You can say there isn't, but yeah, like you're saying, like just the difference of a driver. I don't care if you've done the same thing 100 times, it's never the same.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's sometimes there's just clear differences, and that's enough. But it's hard,
Yeah.
So yeah, toe in. It's what we run on full size comp buggies to help push the tires into rocks and helps when you're doing vertical climbs to pull up. I can see that more on a full size buggy, especially with like the amount of weight and things like that we see used in those. And I can see what they're saying with trying to pull up because it's trying to push everything into itself. But even out, I could see a little bit of that same effect, like it's just kind of pulling itself. But the full size physics versus RC physics is a whole different world as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I use toe in just because I can get, if I use any, it's just so I can get more angle.
That's fair.
So
cool.
I can't.
Thanks for your opinion.
He says I can't drive a crawler without toe out. It makes the truck too neutral if it doesn't have toe out. Okay. You must be driving a perfectly even sandpaper for that to be a true story. Like the differences in any terrain. There's no, like, unless you're driving at 50 miles an hour or on sandpaper, like on a sheet of plywood.
Too much toe talk. Thought this was Reddit/feet for a minute. Oh,
Hell,
man.
Billy, sir. Matt, do you have an update on the bobbed new Bronco? And Josh, what happened to your squatted F450? Bobbed new. Were you? Oh, that's right. You did start the cut up that Bronco for your gatekeeper.
Oh, for the fun haver. Yeah, I never bobbed. I was never going to bob it though.
Gotcha.
It's just chopping the body to fit. What I was trying to do was chop the body to fit the cage of the gatekeeper, which is stupid. So now I'm making my own cage to fit the body. Right. It's a lot smarter.
Once you end up having time.
Build is on hold indefinitely.
Yeah.
Agreed. I still have the final episode of the mud truck to do, but there is 30 plus inches of snow on the ground, so that won't be happening anytime soon either. How much do your? Oh, go ahead. Sorry, he
as far as the squatted F450, it is exactly as you saw it last. Because there is no point to that truck. There was no point to do what I did to that truck.
That's true.
I have no idea what will ever happen to that truck. Do you want it?
There is no point to that truck.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. Kevin Nugent, great point. Go with what you have confidence in. Otherwise, it'll be nagging you on the course. That's the problem, though, Kevin. Whatever I do, I'll feel like the opposite would have been the better thing. At the end of this, I'll go, you know what? I should have gotten toe out.
Yeah, exactly. He'd be like, that guy said he pulled that line with 2 degrees of toe out. Like, I bet that was it. Like, no,
that was it.
Toe out had zero effect.
Okay, next question. So my truck right now was like 6.3 pounds for class 2 with no body. How much does your truck weigh?
I have a scale.
Okay.
Let's see.
Jesse, you want to see my Oaken Shield? Yeah, one sec.
cell block
Never mind.
tear. So this truck it'd be RTR if I put a body on it, right? Well, other than a battery. Do I have the battery here? I don't have it handy. Okay, so no battery, RTR, 5 pounds, 8 ounces.
Oh. Okay. My truck is heavy.
Now, I'm missing a lot of things as far as what this will be by the time it is comp ready. As far as I don't have sliders or an interior, any scale points right now. So now there is, yeah. But beyond that, electronics are complete, winch. There's additional weight in the front.
I wonder if I've put too much weight.
And that's with a quote unquote hard body. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice body.
Right. Here. This gives you an idea of where the
no drop
slanted
skid points,
skid.
Though.
Not with this one. You're correct. Not yet. Unless I cut a big old hole in it, which could happen. You can tell the angle of the skid by how this thing is sitting.
It sits quite angular.
It's sitting angular because it's sitting flat on the skid rather than now.
Yeah, mine does that too. Can't remember how it goes here. Yeah, it tends to do the reverse.
Did you say
linoleum?
Gozer? Is that what you said? I didn't hear you.
I didn't intentionally say gozer, but
I was thinking about changing up my class 2 body plans.
Oh my god. Are you doing a No, you're going to run that carbon fiber body
until they just released that gozer.
You're not putting a gozer body on there. You're not going
I
backwards.
could, man. I mean, I'm just saying, like
scale points can get away from you.
I'm just thinking about
weight wise.
Dude, I want to goza with everybody else. Like,
how many gozers do you think we'll see at Scale Nats?
Oh God,
0.
That's my only concern. It's just like it's going to be the new Power Wagon. It's just going to be just gozers everywhere.
Everyone's going to be printing those cages at home on their FDM printers.
I can't. I just don't know if I can join the crowd. I'm not.
I would absolutely love to see you run a gozer.
I'd
do it in class 3. Do it in class 3.
I'd consider it.
Can't believe it.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of room for a foam interior, said Destin.
I poke some fun at J Concepts on occasion. I don't think that it's unfounded or unreasonable, the things that I say.
No.
But just answer me. Like, legitimately, when they finish any of these latest projects, right?
Yeah.
They finish it and they're like, all right, it's ready. Do they go like, this is the one, sell like hotcakes?
This is the one.
Do they?
Do you think they're Lexan
or do
bitch?
they just go like, just get it done, just put it up? Like, I know that dickhead on the news. Like, I get it. Don't worry about him. Like the guy's an asshole. Like,
he's never liked any of us. He's never been nice.
Like,
he's never said a nice thing about even our good bodies. Which ones are those? Don't worry about that right now. But
like
this is the one.
Why is the cage isn't molded and included? Head shake. I thought that it was too, and I was like, okay,
that's not their style.
It was in every photo though.
Yeah, because they want you to download the file.
No, it's not. It's a Shapeways only.
What?
Yes.
Oh no.
It says on their website. I don't know. Maybe it's on their Thingiverse. Someone go double check. Fact check me, please.
Fact check this one, please.
Go on to the J Concepts website. let them know that Harley Designs sent you. I so badly, because I honestly, like I said in the news, I don't hate it for some weird reason. I hated it as a monster truck body. I thought it was the dumb, even though it is a monster truck body. It's that Brodo.
I actually liked it as a monster truck body.
I was like, it's the Brodos. I kind of, and I saw it on that truck, and I'm just like, I don't hate it.
Can you? Here's my question though. Do you think that when they're sitting there and they're talking and they're like, how many do you think we should make right out of the gate? Do they go, well, let's start conservatively with 1,000?
I mean,
or do they go, well, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, you know, I know this thing's ugly. Let's do 20.
Do they, or do they not? Like, I want to know these things. I just
$65 on Shapeways. Holy hell!
Oh, for Shapeways print, like Shapeways stuff is not strong.
It's less strong than some prints you could do at home.
Yeah, possibly, but it's all. I mean, it's just like, especially
depending.
Compared to, like, if it was injection molded, okay,
fine, but still $65. There's no way.
If it was $65 for the body with the injection molded cage, like, okay, it's about right.
Yep. Yes, that's $65.
Shapeways only.
US
Thank
dollars.
you for checking.
That's a mistake.
And that's $65 for the cage only. What is shipping? Someone go to check out through there. I bet you're not going to get that cage to your front door for less than $80 for a 3D printed cage for that thing.
Coming in February from J Concepts, the next scale body. We call it debit card.
I wonder how soon that body's going to be available. I'm buying it.
If you buy it, I'll paint it for you, and you have to run it at Nats.
Oh, I'm shipping it. I'm buying two then. I'm going to ship one directly to you.
Oh, the paint job's going to be so shit, too, because it's so cold here. That paint is just going to flake right off. I'm going to do a J Concepts sponsored driver livery.
That was what I was just saying. After doing that story, I was just going to go like right into it. Like, this episode of Scale News Update brought to you by J Concepts. And then just super dead serious about it.
Then just rip one. Just rip them a new one.
No, I was going to say I really liked it and then do that and not even just act like an absolute sellout.
I friggin' love it, guys.
I know I've said some things in the past, but I think this is the one. Like,
once you see it in person, guys, the Lloyd really is awesome.
You know, the roof line, it's just the angle of that photo. So
it's a lot, leaves a lot to be desired. But I'm glad I saw it in person. Paint it. Yeah, actually, you know what, DK? That's not a bad idea. If he buys it and I paint it and he has to use it at Nationals.
If you paint squares across it, I'm going to be so mad.
I'm going to paint it with the heaviest latex paint I can find from Home Depot. I'm going to add to like 8 pounds of paint. I'll turn it over, fill it up with paint, and just leave it. Here you go.
I hope that you have this special idea and you drive that thing down and it tips over in the back of your Jeep. Musha says in the description of the Gozer, it says, or for the cage, please be aware this is mostly for decoration and will not withstand abuse from crashing and incidents.
Why?
Flex Seal spray. This could be the Flex Seal truck. This could be the Flex Seal spot.
There's a lot of surface area for logos.
4 doors for more scale points.
You get more points for that?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah, for when you put the interior with 4 seats.
Well, you got to put the interior in. That's all you.
I mean, you've seen me.
DK goes, you know the J Concepts guys were watching this episode, just hoping for the first nice thing to be said about one of their products on this live, and y'all go and do this.
I liked it. I got to see how soon. Is it available now?
February, it ships.
February? I mean, it's already February, we said. So I'm gonna send an email. Dear Mr. Concepts.
Dear Mr. J.
Can I call you Jay? Feel like we know each other. $78.41 shipped to Arthur Estridge is what that cage costs. A-Mate says in stock. Oh, I've never shopped live on this particular television pro. Oh, I've been seeing the monster.
That's the
truck
monster
one.
truck body.
He is. That's the monster truck version. This one, that's a 12.5 wheelbase, which is barely different. Is that really the only difference? 12.5 versus 12.3? It's probably the same goddamn body with a slightly different trim line.
In fact, I bet you it's got 2 trim lines already molded into it.
No, they probably modified it. They're just like, yo, we still have all those original ones. Like, we're probably never going to need this mold again. You just want to stuff in a new mark. Like,
we still have 998 Gozer bodies.
We sent one to A-Man for them to take a photo of. Now what? A-Man still has the one in stock.
You mean they didn't place an order? This is terrible. We're never... You know what? One of these days, J Concepts is going to do a kick-ass body.
I know.
And we're both going to be eating our hats.
I have J Concepts bodies. I've used them. One of my favorite builds used one.
Hey, I've got 2 sets of their tires here.
I've got their tires on my class too. I'm fair.
I've got another set of them somewhere. Where did the bigger ones go? I thought I got a set of one. Oops, sorry.
I got the landmines on my class too.
Landmines around here somewhere.
So
maybe I didn't. Oh, I had Scorpios. What am I talking about?
Those are still, yeah, that's them.
That's a tire, yeah. I don't have them anymore.
Oh.
They were terrible.
These landmines, I can vouch for. Great tires.
Yeah, good tire, for sure. I've got those, and I've got the, what are the other ones?
The round ones?
Yeah, they're rounder. Oh.
Tusk. Tunk.
Tusk. Tranks. This is a good looking tire, I think.
Tusk or
Tusk.
Hunk. Yeah. I said Husker. No, I said, yeah, Husk or Tunk.
Go Huskers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good looking tire. I think this has got potential.
It's a terrible looking tire. I have it as well, but it looks like a Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X or something like that. Which
there might not be enough lugs spacing now that I look at it again. It's class 1. Nobody cares about
exactly. That. J Concepts modified. Yeah, I know what it originally came off of. I know exactly where the model for that thing came from. Doesn't make it a good idea. Like, you can buy a monster truck that looks like a dog too, but you don't see the scale trail version of it waddling around.
I wish that they would do the
Samson. Oh my God! I can see now Tony driving around punching people in the ankles in his VS410. Like, look at this! RC15 guy painted this.
Pow,
like,
pow.
He's just running around punching.
Pow.
Tony.
What'd you say about this body?
Monster truck.
Did anybody catch how I referred to beef tubes in my video?
The veiniest name in her veiniest logo in RC.
The veiniest logo in RC. It's Dan. I'm sure he's not watching, but if he is, this has been a long-standing joke for me. This logo.
It's off.
Honestly.
Now, you also said that like he was the originator. He was like the third or fourth person to copy that type of tube. So
yeah, well, he's the guy who's selling most of them. How about that?
He is that, I will say. Agreed.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gunner tubes were the first one made by a guy named Gunner.
And then he got into the jerky game. So
yeah, right, exactly.
Good for him.
An OG. And then there was RC Bros Burley tubes, beef tubes.
But let's be honest, beef tubes and that logo really capitalized on what those things do.
Yeah. Didn't Dan sell beef tubes? No, he was trying to.
Yeah, he was trying to. I think he's fine to not sell it now. Maybe he's not. I don't know.
He was going to put it up for sale again, but he got banned from Facebook again. So
I think that happens on a daily basis.
Yeah. Is the monster truck Gozer body the exact same as the crawler body? I do not believe so.
We all know the original concept art wasn't arms.
Yeah, exactly. He downloaded some clip art and went, we can work.
Yeah, those look like arms.
We can work with that. Make it 2 squares wide.
Okay. All right, that's enough. We got to end this show.
Please.
It's over.
Please. I appreciate you all for watching.
Yes, thank you very much, everybody.
Episode. Thanks
Two
to
clods.
Team Garage Hack, Buck Dandy, Squints Palladors, Gunner Nissen, Brian Sherwood, Hell Billy, Buck Dandy.
Thanks to Gunnar Nissen, RC Manchild, and Redline Trail RC. Thanks, guys.
Much appreciated. 97 weeks in a like. These had to average 2 hours. Like, I don't think we've very rarely done anything under 2 hours.
Yeah,
That's. I mean, that's
a lot. I can't even do the math for that.
194
My brain
hours.
doesn't work.
If you watched these
Good Lord.
solid, if you watched every episode solid, never slept, it would take you over a week. Just saying.
That's amazing.
That's a
lot. That's a lot.
hit the like
thanks
button on the
everybody.
way
Much
out.
appreciated. Yeah, hit the like button. Please do.
The lever, pull the button.
And are you building on Friday?
Yeah, because I've got to get my class 2 ready to go comp.
Oh boy.
So
I hope you don't break. Oh, Blind Guy RC with the last minute there. Thank you very much. Wait, trucks look great.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I doubt I'll break. Although I do want to do an axle swap still. So maybe I could do that before the comp just to make things complicated.
There you go. Are you F10ing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've got a custom rear axle I'm building, which I'll get into next week. So anyway.
Oh, which is super exciting. I've already seen it.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later. Appreciate it. Bye.
Love you. Bye.